I'm saying this to everyone. When I say get better, what I mean is this. If you genuinely do not have the top line bone in your body, lyric and melody is not happening for you. That's fine. Become better at production outside of just doing drums. The only way you can sustain a career here, become like irreplaceable, right? Yeah. Absolutely irreplaceable. If you are a top liner, learn guitar, learn piano. If you're just lyric and melody and you hang out, learn guitar, learn piano. That added value, you get thrown out of the room in Nashville. If you just walk in and you're like, yeah, I just do lyrics. You better be Bernie motherfucking Taupin if you just do lyrics. Yeah. It's like, oh, you're Bernie Taupin, you can hang. Like, otherwise get out of the room. When I spent the 2 years I spent with Timbaland, I realized quickly, and the reason I started a band is in that same time I was with Timberlake hanging out and John Mayer was blowing up. Yeah. He had already blown up. And I realized, and Tim and I talked about it. I was like, I think I might start a band. And he's like, why? I signed you as a solo artist. Why are you thinking a band? And I said, okay, I'm never going to, I will not be more famous than Timberlake ever. I cannot outdance him and I'm not going to outpop him. I cannot outplay guitar. I cannot outplay John Mayer. If you're an artist, find the one or two things that you can do better than anybody and lean into that. For Tate, it was dancing and honestly work ethic. For Ed Sheeran, it's the fact that the guitar is so indelible with him. He plays it everywhere and it's always with him. You can picture it. But not only that, he writes 3 to 5 songs a day. His work ethic there's a theme here, work ethic, right? If you're a keys guy or a vibe guy, and that's just what you do, learn drums. Learn to drum program, learn to do other things, become really, really good at it, be additive, add all those things in. Because for me, when I realized I was never going to outproduce Timbaland, right? Very sobering experience. I'm hanging out, I'm like going, this guy, I'm watching him make Cry Me a River in the room. And I'm just going, my eyes are crossing and I'm like, oh man, I suck. I need to get so much better. And I'm not going to create a sound that signature ever. And I was in the era of producers creating signature sounds. And what occurred to me was, I'll never be that good to create a sound that I think shifts the universe on its axis. But what if I became a Swiss Army knife? What if I could kind of mold into any writing room ever and just do whatever fills the gaps, like to your point about the guitar thing. So like getting just good enough in guitar, piano, bass, drum programming, lyric, melody. So yesterday I'm in a session with Tizo and a handful of other people, and he's asking me, I have Picard asking me like, what do you want to do today? Do you want to steer? Which steering means you're the one producing and doing the track, for those of you who don't know. Or, what do you want to do? And I said, I want to let you be you. And like, you just like in your zone crushing as Picard, great French producer. And I said, I will chime in on this and be sending you sounds. I will be doing top line with Tizo. I will probably do the hook and let Tizo body the verses. Diplo and I are going to go back and forth on sound selection. And that was my role yesterday, was just like pivoting from one to the other, coming up with samples that we use to flip, yada, yada, yada. And I remember thinking yesterday, knowing I was doing the podcast today, I was like, yesterday was like one of the more like perfect embodiments of what I set out to do 20 years ago. Cause like, if I was just the producer guy who didn't do lyric and top line, well, you've got Picard of the Picard brothers, you got Diplo in the room. Like there's 3 of us doing the same thing. Tizo, who's phenomenal and what a great guy and great with rap and melody and a bunch of stuff, but like needs a big hook, right? And Diplo's not going to do that. Picard's not going to do that. So to the degree that you can try to be the most Swiss Army knife as possible, you will have a job the rest of your life in music. If you so want. You have to believe in yourself to be really successful. Everyone I've met that's like exceedingly successful believes in themselves to a point of absurdity. Assume that everyone is more talented than you. I said this the other night when we were having that dinner. When I'm in any room, when I got to LA, when I got my record deal, when I got to Nashville and all the other places I lived, I operated under the assumption that everyone was potentially more talented than I was. And so then it occurred to me, when I was in middle school and high school, the only way I went from 8th place to 1st place in basketball in MVP, it was whatever the hours were that everyone was putting in, I doubled them. And the work ethic component is the life changer, period.
Why doesn't One Republic have the same fate as other bands that have come and gone during your tenure?
There aren't any other bands that has where one member of the band, and I'm not just saying the lead singer, but where a member of the band is consistently, perpetually writing like modern competitive records for other artists and staying in the zeitgeist. And for me, all the production I do and all the songs that I write, I do 2 songs a day, pretty much 5 days a week. Which sounds crazy in LA, kind of. In LA, that sounds a little crazy. Go to Nashville, man. That's what they do. They do 2 to 3. It's fine. The best thing that could happen, the secret to success for any artist is getting dropped once. Dude, no one in the music industry sits you down. It's not like the record label goes, oh, by the way, here's your personal financial advisor that we're assigning you so that you don't go tits up 5 years from now and spiral off earth in depression because you spent everything you made.